Hello everyone, welcome to An Abundance of Books. My name is Julia and today we're doing Scattergories. This is my new setup. You may have seen in my last video if you watched it, but this is the first big video I'm doing with it. You can see my friend's Lego set here. It's a lot more bookshelves than I had before. I'll try to do a full tour at some point. But we're doing the game today. The game is what is important. It's already November, which is stressing me out a little bit. So if you watched my end of year book tag, in that I mentioned a bunch of books that I have to read before the end of the year. So my goal with this TBR game is to get as many of those onto the TBR as possible. There's also the Literally Dead book club pick, which is House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. So I'll definitely be reading that if the library gets it in on time, fingers crossed. This is actually the last book club book of the year for the Literally Dead book club, and I've done all of the other ones, so I can't break my streak now. I think that we've done this enough times now to know what the deal is, and we can just get into it. Okay, ready to roll? G. Excellent. Okay. I got it. I'm writing it. That was the last one I had. At the last second I got it. Okay, let's talk about these answers. Baby foods, grapes. Now, I am not a monster. I do know that you're not supposed to feed a baby grapes and that you're supposed to cut them in half to give them to kids. But I literally couldn't think of anything else, so you'll forgive me. Famous duos and trios, Gilbert and Sullivan. Things found at a desk, glue. They didn't say whose desk. Vacation spots, Germany, diseases, gout. Words associated with money. Okay, so I read monkey. Why would it be words associated with monkey? But I was like, oh great, gorilla, I did it. Words associated with money, gold. That's a super easy one. Can I have it? If this is too hard, I'm gonna take gold, because I'm sure I won't get anything for gorilla. Number 7, items in a vending machine, gum, movie titles, Great Gatsby, games, GTA, things that you wear, gloves, beers. This was the last one that I had. I don't drink beer, but my husband does, so I was like, what do they say? Goose Island IPA is one that servers always say to us, so I know that's a real one. And then things at a circus, guests. I have a feeling this is going to be a tough one, so I'll see you hopefully sooner than later. Welcome back. I have done it. That might be the toughest one I've ever done. There's really not a lot to work with for like gum and gout. Those are tough words. I also realized while I was doing this that we've had G before and I've used grape before. I'm pretty sure actually I used it to read Love Beyond Body, Space and Time because it was grape colored. I'm not using it this time. I just thought it was funny that I had an equally good, well, I guess this one wasn't good. But anyway, please go easy on me for my answers. The first prompt that we are using is famous duos and trios, Gilbert and Sullivan, who are playwrights. They have written, according to Wikipedia, what they call comic operas. I have seen a couple of them, Pirates of Penzance and Mikado I've definitely seen, but they write musicals, so I am going with the Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. I'm actually going to read it this time. While this is definitely not a comedic opera, it is a horror book about Charles Thomas Tester, who has a magic guitar, I think. It's a horror book and itty bitty. I'm reading it for a vlog, so look forward to that in November. The next prompt that we're using is Germany, and I'm sorry Germany to do this to you, but you know what you did. And based off of the German Empire, I am going to be reading The Final Empire, the first Mistborn novel by Brandy Sandy himself. This book is enormous. It's over 700 pages and I've been putting it off for a long time, but I'm finally gonna read it. Mistborn is about metal bending, and that's about all I know. There's a map. This is also for the vlog with Ballad of Black Tom, so you will get my thorough thoughts on this. Next prompt we're using is The Great Gatsby. Okay, this one's a stretch, but aren't they all? So from what I remember from The Great Gatsby when we read it in grade 11, I want to say. There was a big emphasis on the fact that Nick was the narrator, and like, why is Nick the narrator when it's about Gatsby, you know? Hopefully you also talked about that, or this is going to be out of nowhere, because I'm going to be reading Thanks for Listening by Julia Whelan, which is a book about an audiobook narrator written by an audiobook narrator. I really don't know anything more except that I've enjoyed Julia Whelan as an audiobook narrator before and want to support her in doing her own novel writing. Also, the buzzword for November is words ending in ing, so that one counts for it, as well as the next one I'm going to be talking about, which is for the prompt GTA, which is about driving cars and crime. And so I'm going to be reading a book about trains and a disappearance in space called The Mimicking of Known Successes by Malka and Older. This is a book that comes out in 2023. It's a tour novella, actually, and I've got an arc for it, so I'm very excited to get to it, and that it fits with the buzzword everything's coming up, Julia. Which means we've got one left. Gloves. Oh yes, we are using gloves. For that, I'm going to be reading Upgrade by Blake Crouch, which is something to do with gene editing, engineering, future of humanity, something, but they are very science-based, and you gotta wear gloves while you're doing science. Upgrade has not been getting the best reviews. It seems to be that whichever Blake Crouch you read first you enjoyed the most, because apparently this one also has kidnapping in it, which is a lot. But I've never had a bad time in a Blake Crouch book, so I'm excited to see what's up with this one. That's it. That's all the prompts that we're using. That was so tough, but I'm happy to have it done. And December's our last month doing this game, so if you have any suggestions for next year, I am needing them. Please give them to me, because I want to do a new TBR game in the new year. I just don't know what it's going to be. Thank you for joining me. Let me know how your reading's going, what you're planning on reading in November. If you have any suggestions for me, if you want to just yell at me that I can't read and I read Money for Monkey. I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.